Hey everyone, welcome to today's video, Follow the Money. This is a weekly video where I look into the audit reports of the most hot and happening government department for the week. And of course, you can guess, this week is the South African Police Force. So join me and let's get familiar with the inner workings of our police force. That's salaries. That's what we're paying our South African police force from our taxpayers' money. Yet, we don't have a police force. So for all of this money, I would like to know, what benefit am I getting as a taxpayer? I'm going to kick off with the forward by the minister, because if there's one thing I've realized, is that the audit reports are copy and paste. They make numbers look fantastic, but really, the real world experience is very different. Let's see what he says versus what we're going to find out in a couple of months. He is honored and privileged to have been assigned this challenging yet exciting responsibility of ensuring that South Africans are safe and feel safer. Thank you. The crime levels in the country are on the increase and are intolerable. You don't say. The necessity of professionalizing the SAPs and instilling a sense of patriotism, positive ethical values, and an understanding that the primary responsibility of a police officer is to protect and serve the public is at the core of our strategy. If I was a police officer and my minister has been implicated in what he's been implicated in, I don't understand how you're going to achieve that. What also appears in their audit report is one of the key challenges reported as corruption. A key challenge for government is corruption, which is increasingly undermining government's ability and resolve to deliver on its promises to offer South Africans the lives they deserve. Corruption has the effect of diverting scarce resources intended for key service delivery programs. Taking that statement about corruption into account, it's important to know that from 2010 to 2021, 21 years, the current police force population ratio is now 1 to 417, 2 times less than the United Nations standard, which is 1 to 220. SAP's personnel numbers have declined over the past decade from 157,000 to 139,000. And the density of police stations has flattened to just over 1,100 over 12 years. So taking into account the statement on corruption, taking into account the graph I've just showed, the decline in the police force, as well as the stagnation of new police stations over 21 years. This reflects the department's, SAP's, top 10 with its strategic risks. So, let's take a quick look at these. High level of corruption, threat or damage to SA's strategic economic infrastructure, compromised personnel safety, illegal transnational mobility, something many of us are going to learn a lot more about in the coming months. Health and pandemic risk, because our hospitals are failing. You can watch my health video here. I'm putting up a little box for you now. Illicit criminal Governance? I wonder why. That would probably be related to the taxi industry, unregulated since 1989. Service delivery expectations gap? July 2021 comes to mind. Inability to mount effective identification and investigation of money laundering and terror financing cases. Another thing we're about to learn a lot more about in the coming months. Terror threats. That's the only orange. This is the state of South Africa's police force. It's basically almost as bad as the defense force. You know, when you crumble security and defense, that dome of protection around South Africa to keep the citizens, the tax-paying citizens, safe becomes very porous and flexible. And that's the way the government wants it. It just makes it a lot easier to get on with doing business. So, with all of that in mind, I want to show you the salary allocation the police receive. In my opinion, this is just too much. From a national police perspective, they have an irregular, wasteful, and fruitless spend of 2.5 billion. They spend 83.7 billion rand on salaries and only 17.1 billion on goods and services. That's an 83 to 17% ratio. The total expenditure, including capital assets and financial assets, is 105.4 billion. Okay? 83.7 of that goes to salaries. The National Police Force is broken down into, I think it's 5 divisions. Administration, 79.1% of their budget goes to employees. 13.7 billion versus 4.5 billion. Visible policing, the guys we all know, 82.5% compared to 17.5%. 45 billion compared to 9.5 billion. Detective services. That is 87% to 12%. 17.7 billion rand to salaries and 2.4 billion to goods and services. Crime intelligence. I just feel like crime intelligence should also have a relatively high computer and services cost. I don't know. 3.9 billion rand on salaries compared to the very minuscule 256 million rand on goods and services. That's a 94 to 6% ratio. What? Protection and security services. Again, 90%, 9%. 3.2 billion rand compared to the minuscule 349 million. That's salaries. That's what we're paying our South African police force from our taxpayers' money. Yet, we don't have a police force. So for all of this money, I would like to know, what benefit am I getting as a taxpayer? So this I came across as part of my deep dive into the report. This just shows police actions 23 versus 24. Most of them are the same. Bar, we have vehicle searches went up quite drastically, person searches went up quite drastically, and would you know it, farm visits from 1.2 million to 1.85 million. That's a 600,000 increase in 1 year. Do what you will with that statistic. I don't know, but I found it relevant that we should talk about that at least. That's our police force. There's a whole bunch of stories included in this. But essentially, my question is, when I follow the money, I don't see what I'm getting out of this. I'm funding it. I work hard for it. I'm taxed heavily for it, including that, including personal income tax. But what am I getting for it? What are the citizens of South Africa getting for their money? There is no value return on any of this. And then to hear that we have another commission of inquiry, to hear that our president was 38 minutes late for his address to the nation, not the first, not the last, he also did not apologize. To be so disrespected by the man I'm paying, you're paying, and this is the way he treats us. Enough's enough. Provincial elections are coming. This is the time to show the ANC how much power we have. If we can change the provincial election results, we can scare the ANC into understanding how much power we as the voter have. We cannot walk away from voting, guys. We cannot give up the one piece of power we have every 5 years to tell the government how they're doing. And that can only be achieved by giving more weight to other political parties, not by walking away. Please, I beg you, we have to vote. We pay taxes and then we vote. We say, ANC, you are a dismal failure. We, the voter, who pay your salary, aren't happy with the number of commissions, considering the drastic steps you took on Andrew Whitfield. Unashamedly obnoxious. And then somehow, within all of the corrupt police allegations and your speech thereof, you want to squeeze in gender-based violence. How dare you dilute the very corruption that is your party? You diluted it. So, as unashamedly as Cyril arrives late, as Cyril does not apologize, as Cyril opens up another commission, as unashamedly as police ministers go on paid leave, we need to unashamedly vote the ANC out. And let's start with provincial elections. I'm sorry, I'm going to harp on about the elections because I really think we need to understand the importance of elections and the power we hold. And I cringe when I hear people saying, oh, what's voting? I'm not going to vote. Please don't say that, please. If you're not going to vote, then also don't pay your taxes. Because you can't fund something and then just not take part in where that money goes. That's very irresponsible. I'm not judging you if you are that person. I'm just saying it's irresponsible and we need to relook this. Okay, guys, that's my ramble for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, if you did, like and share. Drop a comment on what you think about what went down on Sunday, the disrespect from our president, and the allocation of salaries versus the reward we receive from that investment, essentially. We're investing in our security, our security. And this is the position we find ourselves in. What do you think about that? I would love to hear your thoughts. So, guys, as always, appreciate the support. Have a great day. Over and out.